Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakha, Chodash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the sincere Akhir. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, Shalom. First of all, we want to give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakha, Kodash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutation to all sincere Achim that are out there lifting up the names of Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai in all true sincerity, and making their bodies a living sacrifice in these days, these last days, which these last days come with what? Perilous times, dangerous times, and you can clearly see that by the way this economy is obviously declining, okay, all over the earth, worldwide, okay, not just in America, which is actually Babylon, okay, the virgin daughter of Babylon, okay. This place is on its way out, and the Edomites is on their way out, which the Edomites are you so-called Caucasians, okay. You call yourselves Caucasians, which is cave dwellers, okay. You call yourself white, trying to say you're pure. Your kingdom is going down, and you are Esau Edom. You are the wicked of the earth. All right, so we have this wee lesson which we're going into how most of these stores, all right, are closing. The economy is going down, and the decay of this whole place, all right, the infrastructure and such. We just gonna hit a little couple of articles and we precept. So
I just want to say something real quick as a linebacker of what this brother was saying too, is the technology in itself is also, you know, having a huge role on and an impact on these people losing their jobs. You know, Esau's pushing this, you know, e-commerce and this online and this simplicity type of way of living, but it's costing a lot of people their damn jobs. You know, like one of the main reasons why a lot of these stores are closing, like Target and Kmart, Ames, and all them, Sears and all them, is because of one, the e-commerce, and then just Walmart being a bigger corporation for the brick and mortar. But really, what's killing this is the e-commerce. But Esau's putting a lot of people out of business. I mean, look at McDonald's. McDonald's got the things where you just go up and like kind of like the Wawa thing now.
Yeah, they got a kiosk.
Yep. If you go to different countries, I think they have where basically there's like only like one person in the back working, but like they got they don't even have a person at the to take your money over like that.
Yeah.
So that technology is also causing people to lose their job and have no fucking money. And there's more and more talks of that, you know, so-called robots taking over the world kind of, you know, mindset. But that's not far-fetched, man.
Yeah, it's actually happening. When you go into places like China and such, you know, they've been, of course, investing heavily in AI. I believe China actually leads the world in AI, or artificial intelligence technology, all right, in which, you know, they have it where they have the whole social caste system, okay, where you have it where, you know, you're being graded, obviously, of how you actually perform within society. They actually are monitoring you via what? Their various CCTV, or, you know, what's that, closed circuit television, all right, in which they're using biometrics, okay, which they obviously have software to identify you as a person, okay, and that obviously authenticates who you are, okay, which ultimately, you know, they're going to have that RFID microchip, okay, and they're pushing forward towards a cashless society, which everything that you do will be overseen by the government. Esau Edom will have full control, all right, over you as a person, okay, and that's what the so-called white man wants for this entire world and such, okay. He wants the whole world in subjection. He wants them put with an RFID microchip within them, all right, and ultimately he wants the elect, okay, but and he wants his birthright back, but he's not going to receive that. All right, so you could go into the first scripture, which will be, you could go to Ecclesiastes. Yep. Yeah, whatever precepts if Zion you got, you could pull up as well.
Going 12 and 3.
Let's start actually at the top.
Top. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. It says, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not." Says, "Nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them."
Yeah, so we are supposed to remember the Creator being Yahweh Hashem Yahushai in these days right now, all right? While the evil days, which the evil mean bad times, okay, come not, all right? Because there's a time of Jacob trouble when all hell's going to break loose, all right? We at the beginning phases of that, okay? When there's going to be martial law, famine, pestilence, disease, warfare, apparitions, stuff like Bird Box, okay? And you see in the Book of Eli and these various end time post-apocalyptic movies, that's going to be your actual reality, all right? Read it again, and then if I want to go into it again.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. It says, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them."
Yeah, see that? And the evil days are coming nigh, man. The evil days are here right now. And we could tell that we're in it, and we're going to bring out all these articles that it's really going to affect you people, man. It's really going to affect the American people. It's going to affect the people around the globe because of the way they want to globally marketize this e-commerce and marketize the robot, the whole robot shit, Yep. So, it's just going to really affect a lot of you people. And we're going to go into the scriptures about the grinder ceasing and all that. Go.
Read on.
Verse 2 says, "While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain." It says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened."
Exactly. See that? And the grinders cease because there are few. And that's what we're getting into. And it's just more and more. And this is beautiful. This is a beautiful thing. I want to see more companies closed. I want to see more people losing their job. All right. I want to see the fucking government shut down so y'all people can't get your damn checks and all that stuff. This is all an indicator of the spirit of Babylon, man. The spirit of the daughter of Babylon. It's failing. This is no longer that great country, man. This consuming country, this consuming market is no longer great. No one, you come in here just to lose your damn job, So, it is what it is. A lot of corporations are taking their companies across seas just so they could pay them fucking people over there slave wages. Yep. So, this country is basically gonna keep falling. This is just the beginning stages of the greatest destruction, or greatest fall, the greatest down. It's like greatest downfall of a kingdom, man. It's gonna be great.
It's all the work of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, obviously, for the wickedness that Esau Edom has done, okay, in the land across the world, because the earth is given the hand of the wicked, all right. And when the wicked bear rule, okay, what is it? What they have where wickedness has increased in the world and such. Yeah, I'm not sure. I forget that scripture, but yeah, you have it where it says in there that the keepers of the house, going into these various bankers, these these financial advisors and such, all right, shall tremble, okay, because they looking at obviously these various the actual Wall Street, all right, numbers, which is placed up, okay, which is nothing but algorithms and such. They actually control it, okay, and they seeing it obviously. There's times where it had a volatile market, okay. You have all these different types of increases, decreases, okay. You have all these shops are closing and such. This is bad, obviously, for the economy and such on the global scale and such. All right. Yes, and you have it where America is $22 trillion in debt, okay, to the Federal Reserve, okay. Which the money that we actually receive is nothing, okay. So It
says verse 4, it says, "And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low."
Yeah, you got these damn places boarded up. Hey, you were just saying it, right? You were at go ahead, you speak on it.
Yeah, I was at a parking lot where the Retro Fitness was at, and it was all boarded up, and all these people was trying to go into it. I guess maybe they had memberships, and maybe they didn't tell them it was closed, and they was walking up to the Retro Fitness and it was closed, and they had this confused, puzzled look on their face like they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and that's a reflection of the people, you know. Because, you know, when we go in we was reading in verse 2 about while the sun and the light or the moon or the stars not be not darkened. Because, you know, you have it right now. You have the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding is out there. Okay, the men of the Lord are actually out there, so you can receive, obviously, edification. To know, obviously, because we're the watchmen, to warn you, give you that warning so that you can, obviously, hide yourself. Go into that strong tower, Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Prepare yourself before the day of the Lord, okay, which is darkness and not light, okay. So you have it where people, you know, they just going about these corporations, they so fucking proud and such. You know, in some certain cases, they not even like giving proper notification to their customers, their consumers and such. All right, where they're supposed to provide a service, and then
they do it in secret.
Right.
Yeah, they do all that stuff in secret. They see what's going to be best for them as CEOs and trying to make sure that their company don't go bankrupt. They don't give a shit about laying off thousands or, you know, hundreds of thousands of employees. They don't give a shit. You know, whatever is beneficial to them, you know. Like, for instance, like, you know, this Sam's Club building in Memphis, they shut that shit down and they turned it into an e-commerce. Now, Sam's Club store work is a lot easier than, like, you know, e-commerce work. E-commerce work's a lot harder. You know, the people that work at Walmart and these Sam's Club and these retail stores are a lot of people with disabilities or older people that really can't do this ball-busting work. And they basically gave them the option to basically, you know, hey, look, you know, we're laying off people, but you can work, you know, the new e-commerce center, but a lot of people can't do that shit, you know. So, you know, only certain people transferred over. Other people had to go to other stores, and some people got laid off, you know. So
yeah, the work is too strenuous, and especially for the pay that's received. I mean, like, it ain't actually worth it. So most people, they either just saying fuck it, you know, and doing other things, finding other means of income, you know, or ultimately, you know, what they do, you know, they just fucking what they end up for the most part, but they go into the whole gig economy. Yep. They taking up the Uber. They going up into
or they end up without a job and collecting unemployment.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you know.
Right. Yep. So read this article.
It says Gap, Tesla, and Victoria's Secret are among the nearly 5,000 store closings already in 2019.
Right.
You know, it's like it says already in 2019. 2019 is like what, 3 months in? We're 3 months in, man. There's a lot of shit going on in 2019 right now. And hey, this is coined the year of Karagma, right? So these store closings, this e-commerce, this online market, all that stuff is just getting ready to help push this this RFID microchip, okay? Because it's all part of that technology, man. It just shows you the way in which we're going as from a you know, technological standpoint, that the technology is ever more advancing, and it's just a matter of time before they bring out this RFID microchip, you know. And it's just like I said, everything's going to be online. Everything's going to be virtual in a way. You know, you're going to want something, you're going to virtually see it, and you're going to get it, you know.
Yeah, you don't just you know, you go on your Wii phone or something like that. You see something you want, put your fucking chip, because they want the RFID microchip, and you put your chip and pay for the actual item that you actually want. All right, using that RFID or NFC chip.
You won't have no interaction. You probably won't have no interactions with no real people. You know, you'll just use your chip, and then it will get delivered to you, you know, by a drone. You know, but that's basically like the technology that Esau wants, man. Ultimately that's what the Esau wants. But he's only going to get so far with the, you know, we're only speculating the way in which he can do this. But there's so many, and then there's movies on it. So you see the way they do these certain movies with the technology that they have, or it's all robots and they have the chip and all that. Like that's what Esau wants, man. And before that used to be what you call it, science fiction. Now it's a reality, man. It's not it's a close reality. So
yeah, it's actually here, you know. So whereas where people, like, I remember at one time I was telling somebody about them, you know, I seen a kiosk on a bus terminal. All right, they were putting them in, whereas people, you know, normally exchange and pay for, or their method of payment is via actual cash. Now you have it. Everything is digitalized, where you have to load up money on a, you either have a debit card, prepaid credit card, or some sort, or you have it where the Google Pay, okay, which is these are forms of cashless payment, okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing they installed a NFC reader in the gas pumps in like the fucking hood. Like I was like, damn, like yo, why the hell? I can't believe they even put these here. You know, like you would think that that's something they would put in like the nicer areas of like that, but they're installing like even if you go to Wawa's now here on the East Coast, a lot of these Wawa's have the NFC, near field communications. They have the chip readers, and that was all based upon design. Okay, ESOL coming out with the chip readers and then saying you got the chip. Like that's literally what they say. The moment you go to swipe your bank card, it's like, oh, you got to put the chip in. So that's all marketing. That's all just conditioning, programming. They're putting out those type of readers. That way they can put it under your skin. You know, that way when you go up to the reader, you're just not even going to have your card. You're going to use the scanning on. And there's people already doing it. There was literally a video that he got in the airplane with that. Just scan his scan his chip. So there's people already doing it. There's people already implanting the chips for you. They do it relatively cheap. So it's already there, man. It just hasn't been pushed in a way, that's where everybody's got to take it. But we know in the book of Revelation that every person's going to take this, man.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 5. It says, "Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time."
Damn, Khan, read that again. Yeah.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 5. It says, "Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things."
Yep, I told you these things, and that's what we're doing right now. That's like the scripture in Ezekiel where it says, "Then shall they know the prophet had been among them." Khan, go ahead.
It says, "And now ye know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time."
Yep. And we're showing you what's being revealed in these times right now. You know, all the things that are being revealed, like it was all spoken about. This is all prophecies that's been spoken about by the men of old. The grinders ceasing, people losing their job, people, basically Jacob's trouble, all that stuff. Yeah, all that stuff is coming to pass, and it's going to get even worse. The earthquakes in diverse places, all that stuff, man. And the apostles and prophets of old have been saying it just like we're saying it now, and it's all coming to pass. It's all amongst it, and it's all sanctioned by the Heavenly Father's word, right? And the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Shai, and his son, Yahushua, is deemed, okay, by his word. So whatever he says, whatever he spoke, and he spoke in the mouth of his prophets, it's going to come to pass. So this is what we're saying. We're speaking from the mouth of Yahweh Shem Shai. We're the mouthpiece of Yahweh Shem Shai, and we're speaking prophecies, man. That the same men of old said about the stuff that's going to happen, grinding ceasing. All right, hell and trouble coming to the people, to Babylon, you know. Go ahead.
Real quick, I'm gonna get real quick. I'm gonna get real quick. The book of Habakkuk 2, the 2nd chapter. All right.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2. It says, "And Yahweh answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it."
Exactly, and that's what we're doing, making it plain upon tables. Go ahead.
"For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry."
Exactly, and in the book of Peter, it talks about how the Lord is not slack concerning his promise. Okay, so he doesn't con. So there is no tarrying. This is set for an appointed time. It might seem to us like, damn, it hasn't happened yet. But I mean, look at 2,000 years ago when Yahushua came on the scene. They thought that the end was that was it then. But no, look, it's all for an appointed time that will not pass. The scriptures talk about how Esau has he has given him bounds he cannot pass. Yeah, and Job, it says about that, he has given him bounds that he cannot pass. So ultimately, this so-called white man can only do so much. All right, he's only going to do so much in this wicked-ass kingdom. He's only going to accrue so much wickedness, and then the Lord is going to completely destroy him. And that's what Habakkuk is saying,
This is Isaiah chapter 55, verse 11. It says, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. Yep. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it."
Right, that's clear. It's a clear cut right there, okay? It shows you that everything that's in these scriptures is going to come to pass, whether you like it or not, okay? The scriptures talk about how the Lord is a man of war. It talks about how Yahweh Shem Shai, he's not a man that he shall lie. He kills, he wounds, he makes alive. All right. He bringeth one up and setteth one down. He'll take a whole nation and turn them upside down. That's what the Lord does. All right. So hey, don't. Those are the Lord's words, and He's bound by His words.
Yeah, just a quick precept. This is the book of Ayawab 32 and 13. It says, "Least ye should say, we have found out wisdom. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the Most High, thrusteth him down, not man." All right, you have to understand that the Lord, He of course brings man up and brings man down. All right, the Lord giveth the kingdom unto what? He gave the kingdom unto a base man. All right, He set it up. What's that in Daniel's?
I'm gonna get the one in Daniel.
Daniel 4. So you pull that up.
Yeah. That's Daniel 4:17, right?
Yeah, real quick.
This is Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. It says, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever He will, and setteth up over it the basis of men."
Exactly, and that's what we're saying, man. He gave it to the basis of men. Who's the basis of men? The so-called white man. And that's, you know, these brothers right here, and if you brothers watching this video, if y'all seen our live stream, there was a dude that was basically saying, like, oh, why are we in the position we're in? Why did God let the white man rule up over us? Because we went off, man. And then the Lord, to show us his power, basically set up the basis of men and put them up over. And because even Ezra said about it, he said, "How long shall this endure?" He said, if the earth was given for our sakes, why do we then like live in this condition, right? He said, "How long is this going to endure?" And it's not going to endure that much longer, man. Because look at the prophecies, look at the state of the people, look at Israel waking up. Just that sign alone shows you that we're almost out of this place, man. Between Israel waking up and the amount of wickedness that Esau's accruing, this place is finished, man. And he's gonna turn it back around, and we're gonna be back in our stead again. I got a precept, but if you guys go ahead, go ahead. I don't got it yet. Hold on, I don't got it yet.
Kind of, if I could say this real quick, like the brother was going into, the Most High setting up the basis of men. These Edomites, like, you'll tell our people that these so-called white people, these Edomites, they ain't nothing, and they'll say if they're nothing, why did they conquer us? Not understanding that the Most High chooses who rules in the world.
Yeah, a good point of that is a good point with that would be with what was it, Samuel and the would that be Samuel and the Ethiopians, or I'm sorry, Slaki, David and Goliath, David and Goliath, because they were like huge in stature, man, and the Lord allowed it to where David took Goliath out with the damn what do you call that, what's that called? A slingshot, man. Just one rock, man, and then that's
And he was you got Goliath was he's a Philistine champion, and he like I said, big people of Ham, so-called African and such, right? Yeah, and you have it where like Malak Dawadah. He was like I said, he's described as being ruddy, meaning having a healthful, youthful countenance and such. All right, like they see it like look at this little one. Oh, he ain't nothing. Look, I'm all beat up and I'm a brute. Who is this little one? Yep. All right, you could go back to the account, but but you have it where Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, have it where Dawadah, who's very he was like I said, he's small. And then he beat a big Philistine champion. And it's only because Yahweh Hashem Yahshua is with us.
Exactly.
All right?
Exactly. Because if I can say something, if he wasn't with us, right, he would have allowed it to where David got overtaken. Okay? But that's not what happened. Just like the Lord had it to where Esau did overtake us, But it's only for a time being, And that's all according to the Most High's word, which is what we're going into. The word of the Lord endures forever. What He says, what is goes, and that's why we were even put in a condition, because He said, "Look, if you break the laws, this is what's going to happen to you." If we didn't get punished, then the Lord's word would have never mattered. It's like saying, "Look, if you do this, I'm going to punish you," and then we do it, and then there's no repercussion. Then He basically lied. So He said, "Look, if you do this is what's going to happen." Deuteronomy 28 chapter. He said, "Look, if you follow the laws, this is what's going to happen. The blessings. If you don't, this is the curses." Well, guess what? We fell into the curses because the Lord's bound by His word. But He's also bound by His word because He said He will never do away with us as a nation. So even though we were completely destroyed, not completely destroyed, even though we were destroyed, put in slavery and all that, we weren't completely put to an end as being the Lord's inheritance, His firstborn, all that, So that was never done away with because of the Lord's word. Just like the Lord's word of destroying Babylon, destroying wickedness, that's all coming to pass. And it's all going to come to pass through this, the debt, the currency falling. It's going to come by ways of sword, famine, destruction, all that.
Yeah, this is just the account of David. This is 1 Samuel chapter 17. I'm going to start at 44. It says, And the Philistine said to David, Come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air and to the beasts of the field. Then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword and with a spear and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of Yahweh of hosts, the power of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. This day will Yahweh deliver thee into my hand, and I will smite thee, and take thine head from thee, and I will give the carcasses of the hosts of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a power in Israel. It says, And all this assembly shall know that Yahweh saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is Yahweh's, and he will give you into our hands.
Exactly, see? And that was the word of the Lord that was spoken, and it came to pass. All right, just like the scriptures talk about the saints of the Lord is going to take the kingdom. That's going to happen, man. This is Proverbs 21:1. This is Proverbs 21:1. It says, The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, or in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whatsoever he will. So, and that word heart is la, which means mind. So, and it's in the hand of the Lord. So, whatever the Lord decides to do with that king's mind, he's going to do it. So that's why, like, you had the Egyptians, Pharaoh. He hardened his heart. Yep. He put that in his spirit. Just like Nebuchadnezzar and all those. He basically made it to where he to believe not that the Most High's power, just so he could show his power even more. Like for instance with Shadrach, Abednego, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, when he went to throw them in the fiery furnace. And they basically said, "Look, we ain't gonna worship your gods." Yeah. He got real pissed off. Yeah. But the Lord could have put it in that Nebuchadnezzar's heart to basically say, you know what, I believe you, but no, the Lord said, no, you know what, I want you to do all this just so I can show my work, and he showed his work. He allowed it to where these men got thrown in a furnace and they got no harm done to them. That was in the book of Ezekiel. I'm not sure what chapter. I believe it might be the 3rd chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Might be, but we don't have to get it.
Quick precept. This is Psalms 105 verse 23. It says, Israel also came into Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. It says, and he increased his people greatly and made them stronger than their enemies. It says, he turned their heart to hate his people, to deal subtly with his servants. Like the brother was going into, like the Most High, he basically he controls these people's heart, which is the Hebrew word for heart is lab, which is your mind. He controls these people's mind, and he turned the people in Egypt's mind to hate Israel, just so that the Most High can destroy them.
Yep. Yeah, you go. We actually built up Montezarium. All right, we built up that whole setup and such. All right. I believe, what's that in Exodus? What's that about? It actually got the account how we made basically Egypt flourish and such.
Oh, it's like I said Ezekiel 3. I just wanted to correct myself. It's Daniel's 3. Okay, with the story about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I just wanted to recorrect that. Yep.
Saki. You could get that Baruch.
Baruch. Yeah. This is Baruch, chapter 4, verse 21. It says, Be of good cheer, O my children, cry unto the Lord, and he shall deliver you from the power and hand of the enemies.
Yeah, we supposed to, I believe Bakah is the Hebrew word for cry. All right, we supposed to weep and lament and for our power, call on our power. All right, read it again real quick.
Okay. This is Baruch chapter 4 verse 21. It says, Be of good cheer, O my children, cry unto the Lord, and he shall deliver you from the power and hand of the enemies.
Yeah. So, all the time when we have our enemies coming up against us, we're supposed to cry to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And that's because that's where our power is, okay? In Yahweh Shai, not in our own selves. And if Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is with us, who could be against us, all right? We could bring down, obviously, these other nations, which the Saints is going to take the kingdom anyway, all right? And you have it where obviously we obviously are weak without our power, and that's what the so-called white man knows that, and that's why of course he pushes like the false Christianity. He pushes obviously these other Islam, these other false philosophies, these other gods, these idols, so that obviously we could be away from our power. All right, because when we have Yahweh Hashem Ashai with us, we obviously flourish. All right, but obviously if we go off against our power, we come down as a nation. We get the structure destroyed. Okay, kind. It has something else, but go back to the article. Or where you was at.
I know we didn't finish Second
finish.
Thessalonians. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:7. It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way."
Yeah, so you have it where the Mr. Iniquity, that's the Edomites, so-called white men. All right, the actual people of the Edomites. All right, which are the wicked. All right, they of course do not but multiple sins. All right, okay. The Lord have it where he of course is in control. All right, and thus he obviously controls time. He controls how much a kingdom rule, and et cetera, et cetera. Who actually ruling in the kingdom? All right. He, of course, being in control, he's going to be the one that actually brings it down and cuts out a rulership of a people, okay? As it says in the scriptures, in our case, it says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, all right? So, we have it where we are next up, none of these other nations, all right? But the Lord, as it says in the scriptures, as we had mentioned back in Job in the precept, that he has bounds in which he cannot basically exceed, roughly paraphrasing. I may of course get it. All right. But yeah, that's it.
Verse 8. It says, "And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming."
Ooh, see that, man? You're gonna destroy with the brightness of his coming. That brightness of his coming is gonna be with them chariots, man. Simultaneously with them thermonuclear missiles.
Yeah, we the mouthpiece of Yahweh Shem Shai. That's how we bringing down and chant down this kingdom. All right, do this word. All right, that's why they send agent provocateurs to the camps. That's why, of course, they slander the Hebrew Israelites at a all-time high right now. Well, I would say they starting to, of course, acknowledge us, and it's becoming like obviously something like we like seeing. That's you would say that's, I would say in a sense, like you. For mixing up my thoughts, I would say this isn't something that the Esau so-called white man would do normally, because he's doing it because he knows that he has but a short time. All right, so he's doing this thing, which you get Job 14:5, and then we go back or whatever.
This is Job chapter 14, verse 5. It says, "Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass."
Right. Go into that word for bounds. Chach is the Hebrew word, which you have it. Bounds, which is a limit, something prescribed, dude. All right. He has to have an actual statute that's stopping. He has even a decree. All right, it's ordered. Okay, for the amount of time he can, of course, rule. All right, so he has bounds, which is you have it here, a limit. Okay, something prescribed by obviously the Most High. All right, that he cannot pass. Okay. And we're at the end, and that's why we see these prophecies speeding up. Okay. And you see that this place is grinding, ceasing, corporations, various retail shops, major car manufacturers closing up. All right, getting rid of course, production on certain models of cars, getting rid of course, production on certain, you would say, actual storefronts, all of that. This is all happening.
Yeah, and it says, except those days should be shortened, there should all flesh be saved. So that's why it's speeding up, really. You know, that's how we know we're in the last days. You know, the last days of the last days.
Verse 9, it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders.
Right. Yeah, the signs and lying wonders, you go into it. Obviously, you have it. The Esau Edom got his miracles, which he worketh by via what? Technology, which the Ak was going into. Okay. That's the blessing, all right, of the so-called white man, all right, to have obviously the sword, okay. He has the dew of heaven, okay. And this is what he does in the kingdom, okay. He goes and weaponize everything. He create left-hand side technology that allows you to, like you said, you have it where you created these verses. You could, you know, he got the 5G thing's gonna be like you just bam, you just think up something, bam, it's right there in front of you.
He steals technology, all right, with his with his blessing. You know, he conquered a lot of these nations and stole their technology, stole what they knew. They stole a lot of what Jake's technology. You know, Jake, the first creator of Bluetooth was a Jake. Okay, the creator of the light bulb. We go through all these inventions that were actually Jake inventions. You know, Esau stole them. You know, and all that. So.
This is Ezekiel chapter 28 verse 3. It says, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. God, yeah, with these Edomites, they've developed all these different technologies, these different sciences. They basically search out every secret that the world has to offer, and they're finding them out, showing you who these Edomites are. It says, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. It says, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Yeah,
you could be able to, that traffic, you could be able to transport, obviously, all these goods, all right? Okay, you got it via the trucks, okay? Which a lot of these truckers are starting to stop, too. You know, they're starting to, of course, rebel and stuff, you know?
There's a major deficit for truck drivers, man. There is no truck drivers out there, man. So, and the majority of transportation of goods is through truck driving.
That's right. So you said, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic, all right, thou hast increased thy riches, all right. You could, of course, export things, import things, okay, using ships. Now you got drones, okay. This is how, of course, you've increased. Now, of course, Yahweh Shem Yeshua is bringing that all down systematically, all right, which we got here, traffic. I believe the elder apostle Tahar went into this. Right. Where you got I know, is it Rakala? All right, Rakala from recall, and it means merchandise, traffic, trade. Okay? Yeah. So, go into it. How, of course, you have distributed, all right, all the goods. Of course, you steal natural resources from countries, take over countries. Then what? You of course sell it. Okay, people gotta, they gotta. Well, you have it where you gotta conduct international trade in the petrodollar, the U.S. dollar and such. Okay, instead of you have it where certain countries, obviously, they want to rebel and de-dollarize. Okay. And when they do that, of course, you come up against them and then try to, of course, overthrow them. Like you have it where, you got crisis in Venezuela. You got a lot of different things that's going about. All right. I mean, I'm not sure if it's Iran too, but it's at a high rate. Okay, where these other nations are starting to say, "Fuck you guys, we gonna do things our way." Okay, instead of listening and following you, the whore. All right. In America. All right. That's it?
Yeah.
I'll go back to the article, and we're about to go into the infrastructure slot.
It says, Gap, Victoria's Secret, JCPenney, Tesla, and Abercrombie and Fitch. What do these companies have in common? They're all closing stores this year. It says already 4,810 store closures have been announced by retailers in 2019, according to CoreSite Research. And it's only March. Last year, CoreSite tracked 5,524 store closures, down more than 30% from a record 8,139 closures announced in 2017.
Right. So yeah, going into it, like you see, it's only March. You see all these start closing, okay? High level.
It says, adding to the noise, Amazon said this week it will shut all 87 of its pop-up shops inside Whole Foods, Kohl's, and malls across the country. It says, but the company has vowed to invest more in its bookstores and other bricks and mortar concepts, including its cashierless convenience store called Amazon Go.
Right, which, you know, you have it. That's what they actually want, okay? They want that cashless stores and such, all right? This is going to be real quick. This is James 5:1. It says, go to know, ye rich men, weep and hoe for your miseries that shall come upon you, all right? Which, you rich men, we going into the bankers and such, all right? You know, you have it where right now, as it's going to read, your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten, okay? Your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. All right, and we seeing that, you know, seeing the markets is going down. Okay, we seeing all these different various store closings. We seeing obviously that leads to what? Unemployment. That leads to what? Also, people obviously gonna start to hit the streets and increasing crime. All right, and stealing, harlot, all that.
Yep, and with people, and with all that is gonna come down with more people, less people spending money. Yep. Nobody's gonna have money. Less people are gonna spend money. Yeah, the whole economy gonna fucking just go to shit, man. And it's been going to shit. That's right. It's been like that. I think last year they were saying. I think it might have been last year, maybe 2 years ago. They were saying about how like holiday sales were like at a low. And I think this year they said that holiday sales were actually at a high. You know, with the e-commerce and all that bullshit. But you know, nobody's got no damn money to be spending anything. They're really just using credit. You know. Yeah. So.
Well, that's it. Yeah, they're using up credit. There's an article about that too. How these people, you know, they basically done obviously used all this credit.
Exactly. So America's doing it right, and the people are doing it. So the people are got this facade that they got some sort of money, right? They got this fake belief, but it's only a matter of time before they got to pay that money back. So now they got to pay that money back, and they have no money, and then they can't get no more credit cards. So then now what? They're so broke, and that's the majority of American people right now. And the majority of American people that have some money or have some credit like that, you know, yeah, there might be only a few, or what can I say? There's a you know a few staying afloat still with the credit, but it's only a matter of time before they fall victim of also being just lading themselves with that thick clay, to a point where that they're also poor, and then if the dollar collapses, then it's even worse for them,
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. It says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied.
Right, and we all know who that's talking about. It's talking about the so-called white man. All right, Esau, Edom, the nation of Edom, Adawam. So, he enlarges his desire as hell and cannot be satisfied, and he does that by any means necessary, man.
It says, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him?
Which the nations are doing. The nations ultimately fucking looking down on Esau now, man. Not trying to take Esau's shit no more. They're talking a lot of shit. They talk a lot of shit about the so-called Jews, the fucking Khazars, Go ahead.
It says, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
Right, and I said about the Khazars, they have a bunch of shit that's not theirs, all right? And they got all the diamonds, they got all the riches. You have the elites. They're all so-called Jews, so-called Khazars, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. They had the great riches of the world, man. Go ahead. And they got that shit by us. They stole that shit, Go ahead.
Says, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
Exactly. Yep. And how long with those that lade himself with thick clay? And that thick clay is debt. And if you look at the debt calendar, it hit an all-time high again. Well, it's always an all-time high, but it's hitting another trillion, another milestone, I guess you would say. But it's 23 trillion now.
I think it's 22.
22 now. Okay,
22
22 trillion.
We can
Yeah.
pull it up if you want, but
Con.
yeah,
So there it is, man.
you have it in Hebrew for going for the thick was it thick clay?
Con. It says what is this? I bought yet.
Yep.
Con. And it says weight of pledges, heavy debts.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what it is, man. That's
Now, pull up this. Go on Google and go for. It says for most Americans, credit card debt is the way of life. Just put, just to go further, prove the point which we're making. All right, because we can back up everything as prophecy. How about Shemashai? All right. With the scriptures, with what's actually going on in the world, which is nothing but prophecy, which been foretold in the days of old, and now, of course, happening right now. Because the spirit, of course, of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. All right. It's in CBS. Yeah. Right. Yeah, you could click that one. See that's it. February 21. Yeah, that's right. That's it. That works. So you have here, we got it off of WDEF.com. It says for most Americans, credit card debt is a way of life. It says Lisa got her first credit card when she was 18 years old. It says she has had a credit card debt ever since then. All right, so you starting off your whole life. All right, when you could get a credit card, I'm not sure what age can you get a credit card at. I'm not sure if it's 18. All right. Which, this is usury, okay? Because they, of course, put what they got the scriptures with the borrow subject to the lender. You could pull that in too, but hold up. But you have it where you already, as a young one, you already starting your life with debt, okay? Which this ain't even real kasapium or real money or real silver. All right, this is a debt-based system. The actual money is a fiat currency, all right? And the Federal Reserve, of course, created it. All right, back in what? It was created back in 1913 and such. All right, and it's not backed by gold or silver or nothing. So it's just bullshit. Okay. It says here that she has a credit card debt ever since then for about 14 years. Now she's 32 years old. Made the minimum monthly payment for everything from diners to home repairs. So people do their day in, day out, their spendings using what? Credit cards, okay? Because you have it where their actual wages, okay, are not insufficient, okay? They of course, can't afford, of course, the cost of living out here, to, the daily necessities which you need. So they have to, of course, go to using credit, okay, to supplement their income. It says, while real traded herself for never missing a payment, she has racked up to 20,000 in debt by October of last year across 6 credit cards. And when she logged in her account, she saw that it would take her 22 years to finish paying down that debt, and that's only all $20,000. She gonna keep spending. You know how women are. They love pleasures, okay? Everything, obviously their eye sees they want, all right? They're covetous, all right? We could prove that too, but we're going to go on. It says for many Americans, credit card debt is a fortunate gift that keeps taking, especially as interest accrues on minimum payments. If you're like 39 million card holders, you're most likely carry a credit card balance for at least the 2 past years, according to a creditcard.com survey. All right.
Yeah, this is Proverbs chapter 22 verse 7. It says, "The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender."
no, you go.
Yeah, you have it where obviously the borrower is servant to the lender, because you have it where I believe if you go into the actual, I think it was like a lesson where it was published about, you could go into the whole debt clock, the average, the American, from your birth you're already in like, I forget if it was like about over $60,000 in debt. All right, let me see if I can get that. You have it. We got the national debt clock. All right, which I gave you the 22 trillion as a United States national debt, which they owe to the Federal Reserve. All right, now you have it where, how about you guide me through all these numbers, because I forget specifically. I quote about a person, like how much debt they already in as a person, basically. Oh yeah, there it is. Debt for per citizen is $67,280. That's from your birth. You already in debt. You start your life in debt. Okay, and like I said, this is just money that is created, of course, in nowhere. Obviously, by the United States, the corporation which they have. Well, it's a private entity, Slovakia, which is the Federal Reserve. All right.
Now, this is Proverbs chapter 22, verse 7. It says, "The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender."
And you see it. You know, the debt that you got, okay? You can't live, you know, at a good standard in this captivity, unless, of course, you sell out. And you, of course, compromise your morals, okay? And that's what a lot of our people goes and do. Israelites, so-called Negro, Latino, the Americans. They go, of course, and compromise morals, law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, sell out to, of course, the so-called white man who's Esau, Edom. Obviously, they, you know, do it via what? They take these various jobs, all right? And they become what? Witches and warlocks. They have to become masons, okay? They have to... of course, when you go into it, take a Baphomet oath if you go into the entertainment industry and such, which is ruled by so-called Jews. Porn industry, where a lot of our people, of course, are doning out on bucks, especially you women, all right? And then they, of course, what? They go in, oh, yeah, you guys want some money? Okay, just all you're going to have to do is run through this orgy, all right, of men, hordes of men, doing double penetration and all type of lewd acts, all right? Defiling themselves, okay, which is whoredom and wickedness.
This is Leviticus chapter 25, verse 35. It says, "And if thy brother be waxen poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him, yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee." It says, "Take thou no usury of him or increase, but fear thy power, that thy brother may live with thee." It says, "Thou shalt not give him thy money upon usury, nor lend him thy victuals for increase." And that's what these Edomites do when they see you down on your luck. They offer, you might not have a house, they offer you a loan for your house, or you might not have a car, they offer you a loan, and then they basically charge you however percent. What's the word again?
Well, when you go into it, when you get a house, you take up a mortgage, right? And then they give you what is it? APR. What is it?
Oh yeah, APR.
Or financing, basically. I forget.
Interest rate and all that.
Yeah,
Right.
the interest rate. Yeah, they charge you interest. Yeah, that's what I was looking. They charge you interest, however much the interest is, and it's usually a crazy amount of number.
Yeah.
You basically gotta damn near give them twice the money they gave you originally, which is wicked as hell, which is against the law.
Yeah, you have it. This Nasak by Ha'abariath in the Hebrew, which is for the usury, which is an interest, okay, and this is against Yahweh Shem. It's against the law, statute, commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, which Esau Edom does to us, all right. And he, you know, technically he is our brother, all right, but he wicked. He broke that brotherly covenant. He does it daily by what he's doing, okay. Which you see it. Thou shalt not, all right. Or they got, thou. Yeah, we'll go into it another time. I want to go all crazy right now. Nathun, what's that? Nathun. All right, but I'm gonna do it later. It said I'm gonna just go into it. Saga. It said, "Thou shalt not give him thy money, all right, upon usury, nor lend him thy victuals for increase." All right, you know. And the so-called white man does that to what? Profit him on his own belly, okay? In which he's only gonna do what? He's gonna vomit up everything he took, okay? It's gonna.
Say this real quick. You got certain people, they even make a career out of basically lending you money so they can charge you interest. Yeah, that's pretty much a career. A career in wickedness.
Yeah.
A career in breaking the law, statutes and commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yeah. Yeah, you loan sharks and such. Okay. You got a lot of these what do you call them when you can't cash your check? I mean, you get a bank account. To open it up, you gotta have in most cases a minimum balance. Okay, then they cost you fees and such. Okay, in order just to use your money, okay, you gotta use their branch. Okay, and like I said,
If you're pulling money out from another ATM, they're gonna charge you. You know, charge you fees and all that.
yeah, I mean transfer fees. International transfers. Okay, they charge you fees, of course, to wire money internationally. All of these stuff they do to make interest. Okay, we sitting there wondering why the hell we broke and they got all the money. And then at the end of the day, if the bank tank, okay, they get bailed out in certain cases, like in 2008 and such. I believe you can go into that with the whole housing market all of that. Okay, and they were bailed out. Okay. This is all wickedness, all right? And you could go into all that. Salaki if I'm misquoting anything, but, we could go into that, okay?
This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 14, verse 9. It says, a covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul. It says, keep going.
Break down.
Khan, it says, a covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion. Yeah, so Esau, no matter how much he gets, he's still not satisfied. He wants more. No matter how much he has, he wants what you have. Khan. It says, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul. Yeah, Khan. So with all the wickedness these people are doing, their soul is gonna be destroyed, basically, like it says in Obadiah.
We just gonna close off, giving all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Wakakodash.
double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who well, peace, salutation to the election. Now, of course, listening to this truth, all right? That's, of course, here to, of course, save you and deliver you from this damn fucking wicked society, in which is nothing but lies and robbery, usury by the so-called white man. May, of course, you come to the truth, accept it, and it deliver you from the sad perils that are coming, that are basically here. Shalom.
Shalom.